Okay. AT&T, how can we help you? I know I have this thing on again, but really it's the best mic I can find out there. Looks a little weird, but I don't like putting things in my ears. You know, the iPhone earphones. Who designed that? They fall out of my ears. Maybe I have weird shaped ears, but they fall out of my ears all the time. I don't like it. So I go with the hands-free operator phone or helicopter. Sometimes it looks like I'm riding a helicopter. Okay, so hi. Hi there. I've been away for a while. Um, Going through some weird stuff. Weird stuff. A lot of people are right now. I feel like it's a big transition time for a lot of people. And I also have been feeling very much like when you're inspired to do a video, for those of you who have YouTube channels, it's like something inside of you goes, oh, I should do a video about that. There's, for me, it was like that every day about a month ago, 2 months ago, 3 months ago, the whole year. But all of a sudden, out of nowhere, it was nothing. I just wasn't inspired to do a video. And I don't want to do one just to do one. So there was a couple people who died in my life, and there's on my floor, the woman that lives right two apartments down. She was very alone most of the time. Apparently, she was a big time lawyer at Universal Studios, but since I've lived here for the past few years, she's kept to herself. And because I had dogs, she would never ride up in the same elevator with me. But they were carrying her body out yesterday, and I had to hold the door open for the coroner. And I just couldn't help but think, what was her last day like? What was her last moment like? You know, did she know she was going to die? Did she die alone? She didn't seem to have anybody over. She was always by herself. Older, frail, Black woman who just was, I never really saw her smile. I just thought, this successful woman, what was her story? I always want to know about people's story, you know. So anyway, all that to say, I've just gone inward lately. Somehow people have this image that I'm always out. Oh, Rachel, you go 90 miles an hour. You're always here. You're always there. And I'm like, where? Where am I? Most of the time, I really am here, taking care of my dog who's dying of heart failure. So I can't really go out for too long. Maybe it's the image that I project on Facebook or any other social media site, but really, especially the past month and a half, and I couldn't really explain it. Like my job's come to a stop. 5-year contract is up, and I've just been going inside, and I thought, this is kind of weird. Like, what is this about? Haven't felt inspired really to do anything. But then I watched one of my friend's videos today, and he said that John Lennon went through, not that I'm comparing myself with John Lennon. You've heard me play the guitar, so, you know, it's not up to par, not at the level of a Beatle. But he stopped for a while. He just stopped everything, stopped music, stopped. And then one day got inspired and he picked up the guitar again. And it made me think, from what I know about animals, you think about the caterpillar that is in the cocoon and then it comes out a butterfly. That's the old, typically used for the death rebirth scenario. Go into cocoon, you come out a different person. Cancun, I was thinking. Maybe you go to Cancun, you come back different. I don't know. But for caterpillar, it's the cocoon. And I don't know if you know this, but a spider, tarantula, female tarantulas, more than males. Males only live to be about 7, and their only purpose is sex. What a surprise. But to take the male side, they have to decide if they really like a female, because she might eat him or they have sex. So he's got to really, like, if I take her out to dinner, the dinner might be him. But just wanted to show you what molting was, because females molt. And what molting means, if you don't know, molting is like the spider suddenly stops everything. And for those people who own tarantulas, there's been a lot of owners of tarantulas that think that the spider is dead because it doesn't move. It just stays in one position. Sometimes it turns on its back, and so they think the spider's dead. But that's a big misconception. It's actually molting. Now, before it molts, its body temperature goes down and it stops eating. It stops doing pretty much everything to get ready for this molting period. Since tarantula females live to be about 40 years tops, but that's still a pretty long time for a spider, they molt every year. And molting means that they stop everything, and during this time it looks like they're dead, but they're actually inside of their body. The things that are broken get healed, like if they have a leg that's broken or a reproductive organ. So when they do come out of this shell that used to be them, they're completely new. And I thought this is kind of like molting. So if any of you are going through a period where you just feel uninspired and not necessarily lazy, but just not doing anything or going anywhere, let me show you what I mean. I did a little segment about spiders. Unplug this.
So this is an exoskeleton. This is the outer shell of the spider. Check this out. It looks.
Hate when I do this. I didn't share the screen. Didn't share the screen. All right, I'll share the screen. Hold on. Share. Here we go. Share. Okay, now you can see this and make it large. She said. Here we go.
Looks very real.
He just walked out of his body?
The females molt once a year, and they leave everything behind, and they replace their limbs, their internal organs.
Once a year?
Where's the
exit door?
Yes, exactly. They get out of that, and they're brand new. It's kind of like getting a facial.
Yeah, or like a really good dermabrasion.
Exactly.
Sure.
But this right here is just hollow, and this is the exoskeleton. It's kind of like, it's like a crab.
Right.
Yes.
Like a soft shell crab.
I want to see
this
scorpion thing
because...
Empty and
okay. Anyway, you get the point. That was just a really quick way. Let me stop sharing. To say that if any of you are going through a period right now where you feel like you're going inward, you don't feel that inspired to do much, not really lazy, you're just like thinking about things and maybe reevaluating stuff. That's what tarantulas do. Female tarantulas, they live to be about 45 years old and they molt. And the molting means they look like they're dead. And it could be up to 2 weeks where they don't move and they stop eating. But it looks like nothing's happening, but so much is happening. Everything inside is being turned into new organs and a new leg, or so that when they exit their old shell, which looks exactly like them, they come out a completely different spider. So people who have tarantulas and don't know about this, they look in their cage and all of a sudden they see 2 spiders. It probably freaks them out because really, as you just saw, it looks just like the former tarantula that it was. So this is a metaphor. And for me, it's the metaphor of why we need a break from everything sometimes. And we might judge this because I think we live in a society where we always feel like we have to be doing, accomplishing, you know. And I get caught up in that too, because I feel like if I'm not making stuff happen, especially here in LA, if you're not making something happen, it won't happen. But in actual fact, the more I've been studying about human consciousness, the more I realize that it's not about doing at all. It's about raising your vibration. It's about going inside and seeing where you're having these negative thoughts, resting maybe, taking a step away from the internet, social media, all this kind of stuff, because for some reason, everything was draining me. And I do feel like the internet is different than it used to be. Like the internet is now, to me, it used to be more fun. I mean, I do like YouTube and I love watching YouTube videos and I learn every time. So I love that. But to me, social media, I mean, I'm not saying anything you guys don't know. It's changed so much. I mean, it's like, it's not really bringing us together anymore. I go to Facebook. The other day I went to Facebook just to post one thing and then quick get off of it. But the moment I got on Facebook, they have this thing called Facebook Watch. It's like YouTube's competitor in a way. They're trying to make it into that. Still not near as good of videos on Facebook Watch as there are on YouTube, because Facebook has to approve of anything that you even submit for Facebook Watch. And they're trying to turn it into something more professional. So they have like series, like TV series now on Facebook Watch and all that. But the point is, I went on just to post something. I meant to do it for about 5 minutes because I was going to sit down and actually read a book, which I haven't done in so long. And in like 2 minutes of my posting, I get distracted. And in my feed, of course, because Facebook knows me so well, more than my family or friends, especially with the face recognition, they can see what I'm smiling to and when I'm not. There were, oh man, a story about a 100-year-old woman that was still doing yoga. She's the oldest yoga teacher. I had to see that. I learned 6 different ways to make things with garlic and the benefit of garlic. I learned about a new fruit called the tamarind, which is apparently, cures cancer, all that. And about 3 or 4 other stories. Oh, a dog that was saved from a river, and then another animal story. It was an hour later, and I thought, this is exactly why I can't do this anymore. And I didn't feel that, I learned information, but I didn't feel that good afterwards, And to me, I guess, I also know that they have patents. They've created patents before the internet, patents on TV screens on how to hypnotize and manipulate the mind of somebody watching that screen according to a certain frequency that they send out. And I thought to myself, why do I feel so crappy every time I go on social media? Because I'm learning, but it doesn't feel like substance. You know what I mean? That's why I do like YouTube, because I can choose to watch substance, meaning something really good, not a 4-minute speck on this and that. I don't even see people's posts anymore. So if I want to know anything about anyone, that stopped a long time ago. And it's kind of like the frog in the pot of water, where you slowly turn up the temperature, and then the frog. I never tried this. This is just a theory, but supposedly the frog will adjust its temperature and end up dying because it adjusts itself to the temperature because it's done so slowly. This is exactly what I feel like social media is doing. And here's the sad part, is that now that my job has come to an end on TV, it was a 5-year contract, loved it, ready to move on. But now that it's come to this end, I call my agent and I say, so what's the next thing? Like, where do we want to put our energy? What do we want to do? And she says, well, you got to get your social media numbers up. It's the only way that she's saying you can basically ever work again. Because the only way they want to hire people is through the social media numbers. I can't buy into that, you guys. I just can't. There has to be another way. I used to enjoy social media when not everybody was trying to be a star, and it was just people sort of sharing ideas and thoughts. But now it's turned into people fighting against each other politically, which I've learned not to do anymore, because you're just feeding the divide, right? And it's hard to be in this day and age where, and I know a lot of you are going to say, I'm not on Facebook anymore. I'm not on Twitter. I'm not either. But in order to sell anything, in order to continue in the career that I'm in, you don't really have a choice. You have to. And so it's just, I don't want to go along with that. But I'm not really sure how to create something different right now, because I'm still in the molting process. So what I do know is that usually when I share authentically what I'm going through, then other people can relate. And I know that a lot of people who watch my channel can relate to things that I say, because sometimes you think you're going through something by yourself, but you're not. So I know there's a lot of molters out there. And that's okay. I don't really know when the molting is going to be done. But I do know that I feel like things are changing on the inside. And I had a conversation with someone today, and he was instinctually negative about his life and how hard it is out here and how people are so disconnected and this business has changed and blah, blah, blah. And I thought, the more you think on those things, the more this is what's going to create your reality. So I started studying the brain, the left side and the right side. And I read this book called Stroke of Insight. And there's this woman who she's completely a brain scientist. She's a neurologist, and she had a stroke, and she knew she was having the stroke because she studied brains. How weird is that? The book is called My Stroke of Insight. Her left brain completely was not functioning. She had to like learn language all over again. But during the time where her left brain was not working, the right brain was, the right hemisphere, she was in euphoria. See, she lost the concept of language, and language can limit us sometimes. So when you don't have language, because language is thoughts, and most of our thoughts are negative. When your thoughts are negative, then that's where you go. But she didn't have those thoughts because she wasn't able to form sentences. She only had feelings and emotion, and it was as if she was connected to everything. She had this incredible euphoric sensation that I do believe we have on the right side of our brain, if we can tap into that. But what I also learned about the brain is that there's these sensors, right? And we get over 4 billion bits of information, so according to things I've researched, a second. We're only able to decipher 200,000 of them. And we're deciphering them through our filter, right? And our filter are just our perceptions of dogmas and creeds and beliefs that we grew up with in the program of who we are today. So what I want to learn is how to lift that program, get in touch with my brain again, and create neuro pathways, because the neuroplasticity of our brain means that we can keep creating different pathways that will then create different outcomes on the outside, right? A lot of it has to do with your thoughts. A lot of it has to do with our programs. And being conscious of that. So how do we get beyond the programs and the belief systems that are already there, and also the ones that are coming at us through social media, through Facebook, through Twitter, through the news, even through YouTube? How do we just stop all of that and create a different pathway that will then create something different on the outside? We're creatures of habits, right? We usually do the same thing. We like to go to the same restaurants, do the same activities every day, watch the same TV shows. But what if we decided to do an experiment, and every single day we did something we've never done before? It could be something like making a different food you've never had, or anything different. You could buy somebody a meal through a fast food restaurant. Try something different that will make you feel good, make someone else feel good, and create a different pathway in your brain, because I think that's the only way that we can fight the system. We can't not be involved. We can't not watch the computer. That and meditation, they've proven, neuroscientists have proven that meditation, meaning quieting your mind for about 30 minutes a day, shuts down those pathways that we're consistently creating a groove for. In fact, becoming negative and angry is an addiction. If you have a thought and you're angry with someone, you haven't forgiven them, that creates a physical highway, a pathway in your brain, a groove. And the more you have that thought, the more you fester on it, the deeper it becomes. And here's the weird part: it secretes a hormone that you become addicted to in your body. So whether you want to or not, you want that feeling again, because it's familiar and your body's addicted to that feeling, even if it's a negative feeling. So you can't just not be angry at someone. You can forgive them, but I think the way around that is to become conscious of the fact that you are being negative. See what thoughts come into your mind all the time, what ones that you're addicted to all the time. And also, how do we create new pathways in our brain is by trying new things, is by thinking different thoughts. And I think that this molting process that I'm going through, I don't know if anyone else is, but I think it's a time to create these new pathways, because everything coming at us, you guys, is just, it's so negative. And this is what they want. I know I say they. I hate to play the victim, but this is what they want. We always say that, right? This is what the powers that be, they don't want us to be empowered. They want us to be in fear, because when you're in fear, you get to be controlled and a consumer. And we all know, if you're watching this YouTube channel, that that's not the path to go down. So I guess the point of this video is to say, if you're molting, if you're going through inward struggle, or just, things don't seem to be working like they used to, relationships, jobs, anything, The stuff you did before isn't working now because you're changing, which is a good thing. If you go inward, reevaluate, you know. I kind of compare it to, I guess, my patio a little bit. Like these, let me show you. These flowers right there. And those flowers there, that's bougainvillea right there. They need to be watered every single day or they die. And I was kind of upset because one day I didn't feel like watering them and they just, I could bring them back to life though, because I watered them. And it's the same type of thing with our life. We have to create the right condition for something to grow, and you have to water your soul. So what are you watering it with? If you're watering it with crap, well, that's fertilizer, and then that will actually make them grow. But you know what I mean. You have to water your thoughts, water your consciousness, water every single day, create the environment so that whatever is inside of you can grow. Because these flowers have the capability of becoming the beautiful things they are only because they're in good soil and I give them water daily. And every time I water them, I think, what am I watering my soul with? What am I feeding myself with? Because you heard the story, the Native American who asked his grandfather, you know, there's two wolves inside of me. One's the nurturing, supportive, happy, positive one, and the other one's the jealous, greedy, angry, negative one. How do I know what one is going to have power over me? And the grandpa said, the wolf that you feed. Whatever you feed becomes bigger. It's a metaphor, but it's also a truth. You eat a lot, you're going to get bigger. Whatever you feed will grow. Whatever you place your attention on is going to get bigger. So rather than letting things push you to emotions that you normally wouldn't feel had you not signed on to online or read that remark by the troll. You know, trolls don't affect me anymore. But I had to go through what I went through and be pissed off at them and react to them. I had to do all that to realize, wow, what a waste of time. You know what I do when anyone trolls? I press delete. That's what it's for. The only way negativity can ever have control over you is if you respond to it, if you feed it. And if you feed it by responding or reacting, it'll grow. So it's kind of like a weed. Pull the weed. Trolls, pull them. I really don't get that many anymore. When I see a couple, I'm just like, oh, okay, I'm going to pull it. So I guess all of this to say, molting is not a bad thing. Nature does it. Spiders do it. Other animals do it. A snake sheds its skin. When it does, it becomes completely still. And then slowly comes out of the old into the new, but it doesn't know yet what the new means. And that's kind of, if you're there, because that's where I'm at right now, just hang in there. I'm going to start doing an experiment every day. I'm going to be practicing this new neuro pathways by trying new things, creating new intentions, doing things I haven't done before, so that my brain gets a sense of positivity, excitement, abundance of, you know, when you do something new, it does bring a feeling of excitement, and it opens up new worlds rather than doing the same thing that you're addicted to over and over and over again. And, you know, I've heard this once, never forgot. We're pushed by pain and we're pulled by vision. So if you're going to learn lessons in life through pain, we're going to learn the lessons no matter what, right? So you're going to learn them through pain, or you'll be pulled through vision. I'd rather have the vision part. So work on the vision, work on where you're at now. What do you want to feed? Do I want to keep feeding stuff that makes me feel like crap? No. How long do I want to go down the conspiracy rabbit hole? It's an addiction. Anyone that's tuning in to the conspiracy theory channels, and believe me, I'm one of them, It's a neural pathway in your brain that becomes a groove that gives you a certain high that you come back for. I also watched a video, but it's one of the founders of Facebook, who now doesn't do social media at all. There literally is an airplane on top of me. I loved what he said. He's this Indian guy. I pull up the video, but I've been trying to find it. I can't. I think it's on Jason A's channel. And he says, once he realized the mission of Facebook and the social media, Facebook in particularly, the way the whole thing was built to manipulate us into becoming a consumer, to buying, to being addicted to likes, thumbs up. So instead of connecting with people and getting a high from that, like in real life, person to person, we get the quick fix online, to get the likes, the thumbs up, and it's weird because it does feed our ego and then just continues to feed it, and then it gets bigger and bigger and bigger. And at the end of the day, no one really feels full and happy and complete from that. It's just a quick buzz. It's a quick high. It's a quick ego fix. So he stepped away from all of it. I mean, this video was on YouTube, but he doesn't go on social media, doesn't let his kids do it. So it's a tricky place, because if I'm told by my agent that I need to go on social media and I have to get followers, number one, it makes me not want to, just because someone tells me I have to. But also, it doesn't feel authentic. I don't want to do it just to get followers. It doesn't feel right. And I don't believe that that's the only way. So that's kind of where I'm at right now. I don't know if any of you guys can relate to anything that I said, but just to recap, the molting, when you're going inside and you're just getting true and authentic and kind of reevaluating your life, creating a vision, what you want to create in your life now, creating new neural pathways in your brain that aren't similar to the ones that you have in there, or the ones that get fed to you by society or social media. And trying to tap in to that intuition. Do you know that when I started studying the brain, I realized that they did this study where they're showing people slides randomly picked by a computer of things that would create happiness or sadness inside, the emotion. And your body and your brain, 6 seconds before they showed the slide, would react to what that slide was going to be. Therefore, somehow our subconscious must know what's going to happen before it happens. And many sages say be in the now. But you guys know that you're never in the now, because the now is just us processing all this information on this big screen called life. And by the time all these 200,000 bits of information go through our brain and we project it out there, it's not now anymore. So people say be in the now, that's difficult. And martial artists, when they put their hand through a piece of wood, they say that they train their mind to not think about the hand touching the wood, but the moment after. So their mind is completely on the moment after the wood breaks. It's never on the hand touching the wood. So it's more of a mind trick rather than the strength. It's not like they go to the gym and work out and get muscles and do it. It's because they train their mind to think of what it would be like after. So to create something in our life right now, if anyone's going through this molting process, I would say, think about what you want your life to be after. What would it feel like after that's already happened, whatever that might be. There's this one trick that I told my friend that I do that helps me get in a better place when I'm feeling sad. And it's called, wouldn't it be nice if? Because these affirmations sometimes don't work. Sometimes you're like, okay, yeah, I'm a millionaire, I'm abundant, I'm this, I'm that. And you don't believe it, it's never going to work, because the feeling has to be authentic for any transformation to take place. So I just play a game called Wouldn't It Be Nice If? Like, wouldn't it be nice if after all this molting, I came out a person that was so excited to wake up in the morning and and something came to me out of the blue I could never even have imagined in my wildest dreams, and now that's the new path for my life. Wouldn't it be nice if? So try that. Wouldn't it be nice if? Because it gives you the ability to explore that option so you can kind of feel the emotion of what is, because you're not saying it's going to happen. You're just saying, wouldn't it be nice if? And then it allows you to feel it rather than saying an affirmation that's so out of what you're actually feeling authentically. Wouldn't it be nice if? So that's what I'm doing right now. And I'm going to be doing something, reading this really cool book right now called E Squared. And it has exercises in it that apply techniques to change the neuropathway of your brain and to really, play around with how your thoughts create your reality. And I'm going to try that. And I'm going to share it with you. And if you want to try it with me, that's cool. But this way, for all those molters out there, if anyone's molting, we can explore some things while we're going inside. See if we can create a couple new grooves in our brain. I know music works for me for sure. Music always works. It instantaneously transforms me to a different feeling tone, a better vibration. Sometimes makes me sad, but that's it. That's it. I hope some of this made sense. If not, that's okay too. You're not molting. For those molters, let's keep molting and let's fix whatever we need to inside so that we can come out brand new. And then just like a tarantula, we can look for a man to either have sex with or kill. No, I'm just kidding. There is a reason tarantulas do that. I don't know. I haven't talked to a tarantula, but I know that there's a reason. Maybe they're angry at all the other animals in nature that, pretty much gang rape. Really, I mean, most of nature is just a lot of males copulating with females against their will. It's hashtag Me Too nature. Truly. I know a lot of examples. So if every now and then the tarantula stands up for the women and maybe eats the male after they copulate, then that's just divine justice is what I say. God bless them. Bye, guys. See you soon. Bye, molters.